year, it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast for this team sheet tantrum for Aston Villa versus Newcastle in the FA Cup, and a team sheet that I think will be one that we see some changes in, obviously, from some of the Premier League games that we've seen in games gone past. I just looking at you guys having a great chat in the comments there, just as I popped on there, people asking, is Douglas Luiz cup tied today? No, he's not cup tied today because the rule changed at the start of the year. You can actually play for two teams in the cup, in the FA Cup, which is good news. And a lot of people looking for Tammy to start, which I also think Tammy has to start, because that's why I put him on the thumbnail for this show today. But the team sheet should be out in the next 3 or 4 minutes, so that we can watch or we can comment further on this. But I think I echoed the sentiments of an awful lot of people when I say that, you know, this one is really a case of let's get out of here without any injuries. But saying that, Newcastle United are absolutely ravaged with injuries in their midfield too. You know, obviously we've lost our big three in midfield. Newcastle are going to be without Bruno Guimaraes. They're going to be without Lewis Miley, who's the guy who tackled Yuri Tielemans, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And they'll be without Joe Linton. So they'll have Sandro Tonali and Jacob Ramsey and another in that midfield today. They're also without Fabian Schär at the back, which they've been without him for quite a while, and they've been without Livramento as well for some time. He's going to be out as well today. So these guys are just as badly injured in midfield. They don't want to pick up any more injuries either, and I think it'll be interesting to see what both teams line up like, because as I say, it's the 14th of February. Happy Valentine's Day to all who celebrate, to all who have somebody to be Valentine's with. But yeah, as I say, for the one thing that neither of these two teams will love is for if there are injuries or niggles or pulls or strains or tears or anything like that come out of this game, because both teams are running on the same kind of spectrum with regards to we're the two teams that want to break into that top six, from an earning point of view, and from I suppose a consistency point of view, to consistently be in the top six, top four, and we're the ones that are constrained via the financial fair play. And it just highlights that when their starting midfield outside of Tonali is out today, and our starting midfield is out outside of Onana, arguably, is out as well today. So very much sliding doors, I think, for both teams. Paddy's after joining me. Paddy, how are we doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm good. I'm frozen. It's rain. It flogged rain here for about 45 minutes and then decided to snow after it hadn't rained in about 48 hours prior to that. And I was hoping if it did snow that we'd have a nice bit to stick, but no, I have a pond outside my back garden now, and now it's started to snow. So no fun for me over the weekend building snowmen or anything. But yeah, I was just saying there, Paddy, that Newcastle are a bit decimated in midfield, as are we. So they're going to come into this with the same mindset of, listen, Sandro Tonali, protect you at all costs. We can't get you or Jacob Ramsey injured in this one. And it's going to be them and another, I would imagine, in midfield today. So I'll be as interested to see their team as to see our team that goes out today, Paddy.
Yeah, it's hard to get excited about the FA Cup. You know, I tweeted earlier on 84 million we got for a Champions League quarter-final place last year, and 2.1 million is what Crystal Palace got for winning it. So everything we talk about week in, week out means there's an awful lot of effort if you're to lose in a semi-final like we did last year. But we all want to win it. Anyone who's anyway football orientated wants to win the FA Cup. If you offer me the FA Cup or the Europa League, I take the Europa League, because that's 41 million. But we want to win a cup above all else. So if this is another opportunity, I want to see a semi-strong team out there.
Yeah,
and let's see what comes up against us.
And the Champions League piece and everything, because I think the team might be out now as well. The Champions League team will play into this as well. Champions League thing, because Newcastle have to travel about 4 bazillion miles across the world to get to the Carabao as well. And we have a team out. Oh, an interesting new. Well, it is the 90s game. Back to the 90s game today, and it looks like a 90s lineup there, the way that it's put together. But Marco Bizzot in goals, Lamar Bogard, Lindelof, Pau Torres, Luca Digne, Amadou Onana, Douglas Luiz, Barkley, Leon Bailey, Morgan Rogers, the $6 million man, or the $600 million man, because he just always just used to play, and Tammy Abraham in there with Emilio Martinez on the bench, Ezri Konsa, Tyrone Mings, Emi Buendia, Ollie Watkins, Andres Garcia, the lesser spotted, out of the blue, back in the line in the subs bench there, Jadon Sancho, Ian Matson, and Mohamed Kone. Congratulations, young man, making it onto the bench. Somebody who wasn't even born in the 90s. Trying to think when he was probably late 2000s. Yeah, most of them haven't been born in the 90s, but Mohamed Kone is, that's a nice look. It's good to see that in there. George Hemmings, if I'm not mistaken, has a little bit of a niggle, so he wouldn't be in the squad. But Kone is somebody that we brought in very recently, and he's he's got the strength and kind of, I suppose, physical profile. Yeah, so bringing him into the squad there is nice to see. But how'd you find those? I suppose the changes that we've made there, Barkley in the 10, Bailey playing off the right, I suppose, as normal, and then the back 4 completely changing there to what you see.
Yeah, I suppose the only shock is, where's young Allison? I expected to see him from the start today, probably alongside Leon Bailey on the opposite side, but he's not there. So I don't know. Maybe he had an injury, maybe something happened. But look, it's a strong team. Great to see Garcia back in there. Great to see Lindelof getting a run. Great to see Cons stood down for a rest, badly needed, I would imagine. And look, it's while I'm sure it's down the pecking order of what Unai Emery wants to do, he does not want to go here with all those people, 40,000 people, and take a spanking. He wants to go and try and win the match for those people who are paying into the ground. So it's a strong team. It's not our strongest team, but you can't help but be enthused that, it's kind of, as I was alluding to there, I was kind of a little bit FA Cup all day, going about my business, and then you see the team come up and you go, right, we're up for this, let's go. It's just the way it is. But it's a strong team. It's great to see Tammy in there. Great to see Barkley in there. Luis and Onana getting another 90 minutes to work together, to get to know each other. And then again, look, we know what we're getting out of the back 4. And how bloody good is it great to have the likes of Lindelof, who has been excellent for us at every opportunity he's got.
Absolutely. Yeah. And people asking, rightfully so, there, where's Allison? Not sure. Don't know. That's definitely one for the press to ask prior to the game. There, because I would have expected to see him on the bench as well. I'm bringing up the Newcastle team here so we can take a look at it. And to be honest with you, as expected, they've gone full tilt, because they've got quite a lot of injuries that couldn't go they couldn't really rotate from in a lot of areas. So they've gone with Ramsdale and goals, Trippier, Hall. Trippier and Hall would be the 2 fullbacks, with Chow and Byrne in there. Tonali will be partnered probably by Jacob Ramsey. Yeah, well, definitely by Jacob Ramsey, with Murphy, Osula, and Barnes in behind Voltemade. There with Pope, Ruddy. They have 2 goalkeepers on the bench. That'll tell you. Pope with copycats. Pope, Ruddy, Gordon, Elanga, Willock, Aaron Murphy I think he's from here in Galway as well. Young Irishman. Sahar, Neve, and Seung Soo. So they're ravaged by injuries at the moment. I was going down through their squad list at the minute, and they've got 7 players out, and those 7 players makes a huge difference. Just like if we had 7 players out, it would make a massive difference to us, because we have some players out at the moment, and it's still making a big difference. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. They've got a lot more attacking than I thought they would have, to be honest. So this is going to be interesting for me. Is it 4-4-2? Is it 4-2-3-1? I'm not 100% sure. If they do go 4-4-2 with the midfield of Ramsey and Tonali, I would be hoping that Ross Barkley drops back, and R3 just should be able to overpower that too in the central midfield positions and get the better of them there. Even if they go 4-2-3-1, I still expect our midfield to win out in that instance. If they're playing Osula or even Voltemade behind Osula and Barkley and Tonali, or sorry, Ramsey and Tonali in there, I expect Barkley and Onana and Douglas Luiz should have enough in power and pace and playing ability to be able to more than compete against the 2 or 3 there. What do you think, Paddy?
Yeah, very good side. Couple of weak links in there. I don't rate Ramsdale. I never got the love and affection he gets from Joe Public, because I think he's a poor goalkeeper. I think he's easily caught out, and he doesn't concentrate enough during games. Other than that, look, it's a strong team. Walter Made, given the opportunity to lead the line, he hasn't set the world on fire since he came in. He started well with a couple of goals, but since then it's just dropped off. Delighted we're not dealing with Anthony Gordon. I think he's roughed us up a little bit. While there's very little end product in the scoring sense, he's well able to cut through a defence and set up chances for others. So the longer he stays on the bench, the better. But look, it's a strong team. You know, with the capabilities there of changing it up with Alanga, Gordon, Willock, and it's not their best side out, but we can definitely get something here, I believe. It's not going to. Well, I saw, was it Dan Bardell I listened to said it's going to be a 4-3. What's his take on it? I'm not sure my heart can deal with a 4-3, and yeah, after everything.
Not a hope this game's going to be 4-3. Not in a bazillion years is this game going to be 4-3.
No, I don't believe so either. But yeah, I'd happily take a scrappy 1-0 or a 2-1 out of this. I'm going to go for a 2-1, I think.
I'm really optimistic seeing those teams. I'm way more optimistic. I think like I'm way higher on Aston Villa's team than I am on Newcastle's team there. I just think there's more balance, there's more experience. I think that our back four is better. I think that our midfield 3 is better. I think that yes, the 3 behind there, striker is a bit more balanced, and there's a bit more in that for me. And look there, what I suppose it depends on who's in there. It depends on if it's Voltemade or it's Ursula that plays up top. But yeah, I think if you were to go man for man in that area there, on that team, genuinely, even the team that we have out right now, I genuinely think there's probably 4 Newcastle players that I would pop into that starting 11, and that's not me just being a home team or hometowner. Look, it's what I'm getting at here is I'm not saying this is going to be easy, but I'm getting at the fact that we've swapped around quite a lot of our team there, but they've all got tons of game time. They're all first teamers essentially. Newcastle have done the same, but I feel a lot better about us playing at home with our team than I would do if I was Newcastle, considering the players that they're missing as well. Our bench is really, really strong too, and I think this actually shows we have pretty decent squad depth. And when those 3 guys come back, those 3 midfielders come back, we'll have off the scale squad depth. And even at that, we're talking about no Allison in the squad either, and we all wanted him in there too. So I think this has actually highlighted something to me to go. We've put out a first 11 there. We've changed players out from the play previously, but in previous games, and we still have them on the bench, and we still have 4 or 5 players to come back. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm very excited about this game, in fact. And I'm expecting Aston Villa to go and win this.
Sorry. You're definitely really excited, I believe. Sorry, I was just trying to see what way my expert man had Newcastle set up. I do believe it would be Walter Mada. He doesn't have the capability of playing anywhere else but in that 9 position, I would imagine. So he'd lead the line. But yeah, I'm optimistic. I definitely think we can win the game, even with the changes. It'll be interesting to see how they line up when it comes to it at a 5:15, 5:45. But strong team, but a beatable team. So 2-1 for me.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a good game.
Tammy off the mark from the penalty spot. How about that?
Great. I'd absolutely love it. I'd love it as well. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at this here. Over to go. Be happy. I read this. Rogers needs a rest for me, and I was there pretty confident in your ability there. Be happy. I wonder are you ever play in the 10 position? Whatever way I read it, that's the first thing that went through my mind. Yeah. Look. I don't even know who's reffing this game or anything like that, but there should be a decent atmosphere on Villa Park today. The 90s, back to the 90s piece. I was listening to Rambo and Lee Hendry chatting there on the Aston Villa pre-game show there just before we jumped on, and it's kind of like I like the like there's nothing lost by doing the kind of gimmick for this for the FA Cup. And it's I like the idea of it, and hopefully it'll be nostalgic for people. Paddy, I was going to ask you, what was your favorite game that you attended in the 90s? I presume it's the 7-1 against Wimbledon.
There was a lot of them in the 90s. The 7-1 is definitely up there. It wasn't a great game. We went 1-0 down, and it was bloody freezing. The anniversary was last week, I think, of that 7-1 game.
Was.
And it was a great period. And look, I'm not going to spoil too much because we'll talk about the 90s an awful lot at our show in Dublin on the 28th of March. So I might save the answer for that. But getting to Wembley twice in 3 years, then the FA Cup semi-final in 1996, to get a couple of cups, which I thought was going to be the norm, being a Villa fan. So that didn't turn about. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens this year. But I'm confident that our 30-year hoodoo ends one way or another this year. Admittedly, I make no apology for it. I want it to be the Europa League for financial gain above all else. But it would be nice to win the FA Cup. We've always wanted that. But unfortunately, the powers that be have made our priorities completely different. But it's difficult being a football fan these days. The 90s were much more fun when anything could happen and anybody could beat anybody. So yeah, and look, we know Premier League, Burnley lost to Mansfield today, so anything is possible. So I'm delighted for them. If we get through today, I certainly don't want to play them away from home in the next round.
Yeah, and Burton nearly put an upset as well against West Ham. West Ham winning it after extra time there as well.
West Ham.
Yeah, exactly. So you went with what, 2-1, Paddy? I'm going to go with Sam. I think 2-1. I think it'll be a decent game this, because I think there's players there that want to stake an aim for themselves to be in the rotation a bit more and to usurp people that have been in the team. So I'm expecting that. It was, again, you mentioned about Tammy. I want to see Tammy have a really, really good game. I want to see Ross Barkley have a good game. I want to see the partnership between Lindelof and Pau Torres, which the one aspect there that Anthony Gordon not playing is kind of good, because there's not a whole pile of pace between the two of those lads there, Lindelof and Pau Torres. So maybe that might be something they might exploit in the second half by bringing on the likes of Elanga and Gordon. But then we have to be ready to counteract that too. Which I think it's going to be 2-1. If you guys want to start putting your score predictions into the chat there as well, I'll read them out too. Where are we? Also, yes, AVFC Stato is in the house as well. For all of you guys, I will be throwing you directly into his stream directly after this as well, if you do want to watch the watch along with Dale there for AVFC Stato. Just making sure, as always, whenever I say that, I'm making sure that it is set up. And it is set up. So here we go. Going to start off with Gav here. Gav is going with 1-1 with Villa win on penalties. Dave is going for 2-0 to Villa. Stato's going for 3-0. 3-1 says Dermot Byrne. 2-0 says Bog. 3-1 says Junior. Welland Valley. The Welland Valley says 3-2. Peter is going for 2-0. 2-1 says Jar. Brendan's going 2-1. 1-0. Wife says 3-2, and Cash is saying 1-1. Mr. Punch is going 2-1. Debbie's going for 3-0. Be Happy's going for 2-1. Are you going to score yourself as well? Be Happy. Eric Cunningham is going for 2-0. Carol Simmons is going for 3-1. Oz Jervis is going for 2-1. And Garrett McDonough is going for 2-1 with Tammy scoring the winner. And to be honest with you, I'm going to finish up on that one. But I think one of the best things that could happen here is, number one, coming out of this without any injuries, but secondly, Tammy Abraham looking good. And Tammy Abraham, even forcing a couple of saves, getting that goal, being a bit more active in games, in the game throughout, and playing as that proper centre forward. bringing people into the game as well. I think that's what everybody's looking for, is a real kind of statement from Tammy Abraham today. Not that he hasn't given it before, it just hasn't had much chance. So that's what I'm looking for today, is him to have a good performance above all else, and also not to get any injuries. So, Paddy, have you anything else you want to go through before we wrap it up there, and we'll be back again then for a post-match podcast?
I thought I was going mad there. I just realised that Emi Buendia is not around either.
He's on the bench. He's on the bench.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All good to go. I'm going to go for a few creamy points and enjoy my evening. I hope everybody has a great evening. I'm really jealous looking at the videos in the warehouse of 90s tunes blaring out. I would have loved to be in the middle of that, having a little bop, but we'll have to wait for the March 28th, where we might put on some 90s music while people are getting ready to see what entertainment comes up on the stage. But looking forward to the game now. I wasn't all day, as I said, but once Aston Villa take to the field, everything goes out the window, and you just want nothing but a win.
Absolutely, yeah, and just well done as well to Ben Braggio. 2 goals in 2 games for Falkirk as well. We need all these young players there to get good loans, get game time, and to be successful. And that's absolutely great.
Could prove to be a great window for him to get in there and make a name for himself in men's football. And it's a tough place to play football in Scotland. So good luck to him, and I hope he continues to flourish, except when he plays Celtic, obviously.
Yeah, it'll be tough in this weather as well, because I imagine it's a lot colder that far north. Anyway,
he's well used to it up there anyway.
Exactly. Right, gonna see you guys later. See you for post-match directly on the final whistle. Hopefully we'll be talking about an Aston Villa win. In the meantime, everyone stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.